Free show. Welcome to the free show, everyone. This is the part of the show where we talk about what we're going to do on the show. It's just me and Taylor right now. I think David's going to pop in a little
Who
while.
knows?
Yeah, who knows? You never know. Uh, Adam will not be here. I don't know what Adam's doing. He just needed a break. He's like, I need a break.
I mean, if he was sick of us, I get it.
Oh yeah, I'm sick of us. But you know what? But fuck him. I'm still here every damn time. Uh, but yeah, good on him. I think he had to go to a wedding, so he just took some time off, and good on him.
Well, hey, I
If I
mean,
didn't,
as we start
if
to
I
get
didn't get
back into
good,
normal life.
you say that as we start to get in, dude. As soon as everyone was like, "Hey, there's a hint of actual normal life that everyone is agreeing on is an actual bona fide hint of normal life," everyone was like, "All right, normal life's here.
You're not wrong.
Where's a concert? I need to go to a concert." And that's fine. If you're
Well,
vaccinated, hey, do it.
I mean, the official guidelines are now that, like, if you're vaccinated, you basically can just go around and do what you want, unless you go to like a hospital or an airport, basically.
Yeah, and I've just been going around not wearing my pants because it's that summer. You can just do whatever you want now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like the social expectations are way lower than they used to be.
Yeah, man, there's gonna be a big. I don't know. I don't want to say anything negative. Everyone should have fun. It shouldn't be like, oh, these are gonna be the repercussions. Let's make fun of the repercussions of your summer of getting your fucking life back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, have fun. Do what you want. Anyway, segment one, we'll talk about whatever we've been doing. There's a new Defenders book coming. There's a bunch of Diamond Comics gizmos that are coming, probably a bit too late. 2 new animated shows in the DC universe have been announced. We'll talk about both of them. We'll also talk about the big Batman. Oh, here's Dave. The big Batman crossover coming called Fear State. Spirits of Vengeance, new Ghost Rider book over at Marvel. That's actually the Marvel news that I picked up. There's a lot. There's a lot more. A new IDW Star Trek event. We're going to talk about that. Tech on Avengers was announced. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, Heroes Reborn. That will not take very long this week.
It was just the one book this week. Yeah.
And it wasn't very good. It was just
definitely
okay.
it was fine, but like this one was definitely weaker than last week's offerings.
We got a double. Yeah, we'll talk about those.
Yeah.
Double dose of food news this week. One real quick, one kind of.
Oh, David is. See, you hadn't talked this whole time. I was wondering if there was something wrong with your mic there, David.
No, nothing was wrong with my mic. I was just suppressing a cough.
Oh, that was nice of you. Usually you're like wrapping Christmas presents and reading the newspaper when we're doing this.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to skip
just over there just like throwing fine china at brick walls most of the time,
in the most ironic turn of events, we're actually going to skip Moment of Destruction this week, even though there's so much awesome Transformers news.
And you guys have been waiting for like literally months to get back to doing it.
New action figures, new comics announced, comics to actually review, 2 of them. But Adam's not here. So we're going to push that to next week, and that'll be fun.
And then it'll get canceled.
Yeah, and then everything will get canceled. Top 3, a lot of things I was hopeful for and a lot of meh.
A lot of meh.
A lot of disappointment in some of my books that I was really looking forward to this
I feel like
week.
it was a solid B+ average for the books I read this week. Not a lot of A's, though, for sure.
Yeah, but spoiler, there are no Marvel books in my top 3.
What?
Yeah, I know. Might be the first time ever.
Hey, I was going to say this for later, but there are 2 DC books in my top 3 this week.
Oh, man. I'm very excited because there is a DC book in mine as well, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it. Anyway, one of them is Nightwing, but Nightwing was just okay this week.
I liked it a lot.
Just okay. We'll talk about those.
We'll get to it later.
Yeah, we will talk about those. But the other book that's on your list, holy shit! I got a new.
It has to be Wonder Girl. Right?
I got a new infatuation. I mean, I'm sprung. I am head over heels for this girl. She is amazing. She's amazing. Anyway, yes, we'll talk about those in our top 3. Tomorrow we'll do the preview show as normal. Adam is destined to be back. He said he was going to be here. But then on Tuesday we're doing top 5 comic book events. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
But we've teased that enough. Anybody else have any news to add?
Sorry.
Taylor actually added the Defenders.
I'm
so
contributing this week.
he
Yeah.
kinda
Yay.
contributed. Awesome. Well, let's get this proverbial show
On the road.
I mean, it's a literal show, not proverbial.
Oh, there it
but-
is. Oh, that's true.
Oh, Sensei of the Lake.
It's a
What is
fucking
your
train
advice
wreck.
today?
It's actually a train wreck dressed up as a show.
Bunch of goddamn nerds.
It's true.
Nerds!
I love that one.
I am actually kind of scared of John Goodman right now. He does this commercial for some kind of like slots game app.
yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about,
Slotomania.
and I hate it.
I hate that dude.
I mean, not only do I hate that commercial, and I hate the fact that John Goodman is doing a commercial for a fucking mobile poker game, which is
Yeah,
basically
like-
just nonsense gambling.
Basically, he's doing like a Candy Crush game, basically.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
even Candy Crush, man. It's got
You
this
are
guy.
better than this, John Goodman. Come
Yeah,
on,
dude.
man.
You're better than this, John Goodman. Anyway, greetings, geeks. Welcome to another episode of this Geek in Comics, our Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Gomer Taylor, David hanging out. Segment 1, I did watch some TV. I'll go first. Solos on Amazon. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. Each one of these amazing actors does a single, like, 30-minute little sci-fi episode, I guess is what you call it. But it's
Yeah.
only them. It's basically only them. Right? The
It's
Morgan
fun.
Freeman one does have this white dude to the left of him in the same one. But they filmed this during the pandemic, and that was the easiest way to do it. You know, just to not spread coronavirus is just to have one
I mean,
actor.
that's a good way to make lemonade out of lemons, you know?
Yeah. It was good. The Helen Mirren one was like in space and dealt with, like loneliness in space. It was fun. It was really good, dude. The Anthony Mackie one was great, but the Anne Hathaway one where she's like trying to figure out time travel. Oh my gosh. It's worth it just to watch that one, dude.
It's
The
a
rest of
pretty
them,
stacked cast, though, you know?
oh man, it's stacked. And they're just okay overall. But the Anne Hathaway one it's dope, man. I really enjoyed it, It's no Star Trek, but it was great. And
Annie, we gotta go back in time. It's kids, Annie.
and Army of the Dead. Everybody else
Oh.
watched Army of the Dead.
That was pretty good.
I haven't
It was
watched it yet,
okay.
no.
It was okay. I
As
mean,
far as zombie movies go, it wasn't bad.
yeah, it's a Bautista joint, but it's got a bunch of other great, people in it. Zack Snyder, of course. He's got a lot of nods to different horror and zombie movies, throughout the.
Now,
The
I have
ages.
seen a steady stream of set photos, and apparently they went all in on the practical effects for this.
Yeah, it was dope, man. It was fun. But the takeaway, Tig Notaro, as always, anything she's in, she just took it away. She's
I
awesome.
I
love
found
her
out
so much.
today about her that all her scenes were added digitally.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it
dude who
was some
originally
other
had that
person.
role was I don't even remember his name. Something Dahlia, some actor. He got Me Too'd, so he was out.
Oof.
And yeah, they didn't digitally insert her, but they basically filmed all her stuff and then sort of did the movie magic to make it seem like she was in all of the scenes that she was in, even though like she wasn't there at all. Her and Batista like never met, and Batista literally meets her face to face to recruit her to the team.
Yeah.
But they've never met, so it
Yeah.
costs a lot of money too, what I've heard. So but
Yeah,
Hey,
there was
it
there were
was
like
great.
a couple of Star Wars nods in there too, and
it was a
It took
bunch
me a-
of different nods, man.
it took
The
me a
whole
little while
thing
to
was
figure it
like-
out. But Shades from Luke Cage was in there.
Yeah. I
He was the
remember him
creepy
more-
molesty guard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great movie. It's it's I mean, it's your basic zombie movie, but that's what it's meant to be, and it doesn't try to be anything else. It's a little long, but all Snyder shit is a little long because he's
Well,
Snyder.
well, Zack Snyder did get his big break with a remake of a zombie movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And this has room to grow, and knowing Netflix, they're gonna do another one. So
but it's already been kind of teased.
yeah.
And they already said that there's a prequel.
No, they should
animation.
do a sequel to this one where they leave off at this one.
I saw where Netflix tweeted out that like before anyone asked,
Yeah.
this is the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that was
You
great.
know?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Whoever runs Netflix's Twitter account usually does pretty good work, I'd say.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's probably the same person who run Wendy's Twitter account.
No, I don't know.
No.
Well, no, imagine if half of Twitter is just the same guy. Come on.
mean, totally different energy, David.
Yeah.
Definitely not the same people.
Let's do. Oh, anybody else? What anybody else do this week? Anything? worth
Did
mentioning?
any of you guys watch Bad Batch, the latest episode?
You know, I did not, dude. It was a busy week. I watched Love, Death, and Robots. I watched Solos, which was a while. I watched Army of the Dead. It was a busy week for streaming, dude. But no, I haven't gotten to Bad Batch yet.
There is a lot of lore going on. This basically connects Bad Batch to Mandalorian, essentially.
Oh, sweet, sweet. Nice. Well, it is all connected. I mean, it's all in the same universe.
Fennec from
Oh yeah,
Mandalorian
Fennec
showed.
Shand, is hunting.
She
the
shows
Bad
up.
Batch.
She shows up in the Bad Batch. She's
I
hunting
did notice
Omega.
that. I did notice that. Yeah.
So
For the
the Caminos. Yeah.
Those long neck.
The cloners.
What about you, Taylor? Nothing this week. Just another.
My school had its graduation this weekend, so I was occupied with that a little bit yesterday.
Fun.
And,
Ah.
I did get around to watching Godzilla vs. Kong on the big screen.
Oh, you went to the movies.
I did.
How'd it go? What was the experience? It was weird not being there for a while, right?
They're still spaced out. What the fuck are you doing, David?
He's eating again. He's wrapping Christmas presents.
It sounds like
with
he's playing
Mr.
the bongos or something. God damn it, David.
But it's surreal, I bet. I bet it's surreal.
It was, but this was definitely like the movie itself is definitely like it's the type of movie you want to see on the big screen. I do feel like it was a better experience seeing it that way.
Nice.
But
F9, the next Fast and Furious is coming very soon. I think that's the really big test, and I think it's gonna be huge, dude. I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think people are gonna want to go to the movies. Everybody is a fan of the Fast and Furious in one way or the other. Whether you think they're legitimately good or you think they're good, silly, dumb, fun, or somewhere in between.
yeah,
If you like going to the movies, they are a spectacle, and that's what we need right now, man. I think is a big, big spectacle on the.
I did go see that Shaw versus Hobbs thing when that came out, and I guess that was the last Fast and Furious thing to come out, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, it wasn't really all that long ago, speaking in terms of these movies.
It feels very long ago.
Right.
There is only one Jason Statham, and he is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Man, I love those movies because they are just stupid and they're dumb. And I might just go see it in the movies just because, they're dumb and stupid. The hell with it. Cool. Good choice. Let's do it. Let's do this.
The world turns.
Man, there's so much to choose from this week.
It was a veritable buffet.
It was a buffet of news, so I skipped a bunch. But if you're in the chat, if you're listening, if you want us to talk about some specific news, definitely let us know. We do have a few people watching. But first, we're going to start off with Defenders, Al Ewing. Who is it? Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez doing a new Defenders book. This has been teased out of Marvel Comics 1000, the big, huge thing that Marvel put out, basically to go up against Detective Comics, which legit actually hit 1000. But anyway, I digress. This is coming out August 11th, probably $5, maybe $6, depending on what else they throw in there. When existence itself faces extraordinary threats, it needs an extraordinary defense. That's when you call the Defenders. Doctor Strange, the Masked Rider, take a non-team, quote unquote non-team of Marvel's weirdest, wildest heroes on a mission that will uncover the hidden architecture of reality itself.
Quantum string theory.
This cosmos was not the first to exist, but if the Defenders can't track Marvel's oldest villain through the deepest trenches of time, it might be the last. Well, there you go.
I am here for Al Ewing.
Yeah,
That's the
I'm
main
here for
reason I'm
Al
excited
Ewing.
about this. I enjoyed that stuff he was doing with the Masked Rider in Marvel Comics number 1000, and it looks like he's finally picking it back up again. So yeah,
Yeah.
I am quite interested. Now
So
I
Red
don't.
She-Hulk got wings now because of Immortal Hulk.
Yeah,
and
that's how
Immortal Hulk.
that is how she has been appearing in Immortal Hulk for a little while. Yeah.
I don't know who this Misty person is up here.
Yeah, I was about to say I do not know who that is.
I thought that wasn't at one point. Wasn't she like the Harpy or something?
Who? Red She-Hulk?
Yeah, Betty.
I think that's what's going
That's
on.
Betty
in
Ross. Yeah.
I think that's going on in Immortal Hulk because Harpy was there too. Yeah, I don't know who that
has
is.
nothing to do with that. She was.
Yeah.
People have been having weird shit happen to them in Immortal Hulk. Like Rick Jones for the last little while has like had his neck stretched out,
Yeah,
like
it's
to be
weird.
twice the size of his body.
Weird
So
body horror.
it has nothing to do
going
with any other character. It's just the weird, fucked up look that
Yeah.
Red She-Hulk has now.
But I'm here for Defenders. You know, Al Ewing. I'll read that. So
I mean, that's a
again,
name that has some pedigree to it. I mean, they never really caught on, of course, like most of the other, like, super teams did. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what they're going to do with this.
I mean, even on the TV, the Defenders played second fiddle.
You're not wrong.
Oddly enough, just saying. All right, getting down to some tech stuff for comics. Diamond has announced that their online pull service Previews World pull box is finally coming June 7th. There have been shops that are in the beta test, along with 17,000 customers. It allows fans to use the Previews World website to place orders directly with their local comic book shops. So instead of you emailing or texting your comic shop guy, you can go here and it'll directly go onto your list. If your comic shop takes advantage, which I'm not sure why they wouldn't,
Yeah, I mean, seems like there's not much of a downside to it. I mean, it's a bit more of a hassle, I'm sure, to get it set up. But once you do, I feel like, yeah, a lot of great potential here.
Yeah, I love this idea, man. I love being able to check my list. The only time I'm in the comic shop is Wednesday, and it's way too busy for them to actually check my list. So then I'm like, oh, I'll just email you. And then I always forget, So who knows what's on my list? There's probably still like events from years ago still on my pull box, but this hopefully will make it easier. Check with your local comic book shop to see if they're taking part in it. I mean, it's the whole catalog. You know what I mean? Image Comics, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Dark Horse Comics, IDW, Dynamite Boom Studios, Viz, Funko, Mezco, Diamond Select. I think that's cool, man. And also the other piece of that, as part of that, they also have this thing coming called demand check. All right. So when publishers are making decisions regarding additional printings of trades, how do they get that information? What do they know what is going to sell? They have to anticipate the demand and project sales, right? To help publishers make these decisions, Previews World and Diamond is going to get more in-demand products into retail stores. They are going to announce the testing of a new functionality on their website. The new tool is called Demand Check and will be part of the final order cutoff process. So if you want a book to be republished, you can go and demand that it be republished. Demand check. You know what I mean? Okay. And then if enough people say, yeah, I want this book that's out of print to be reprinted, then it's in the best interest of the publisher to actually reprint that book.
Yeah, I mean, once you hit a certain critical mass where it's worth their time to do it, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
This seems like low-hanging fruit to me. Yeah. This is dumb. How has this not been happening? You know what I mean?
That does sound interesting.
I mean, there's always going to be a lag, right, between like the technology being able to do something and companies like cluing into, oh, we should obviously be doing this.
I mean, true, but this is the same ordering. At one point, those books were able to be ordered, right? They're not just going to be erased from the database. They're going to get marked with not available for order. Well, all you got to do is take all the books that are currently not available for order and put them in a different thing and say, hey, do you want demand check? You know what I mean? I don't know. It seems easy.
And there does seem to be the potential for manipulation there, too.
Well, why would that happen, though?
Yeah, I mean, what?
Why does anything? It could.
That's true.
It could be like a flash mob from 4chan decides they want to get My Little Pony Transformers reprinted or something. You know?
I don't know.
Don't put it past 4chan to actually want that, but
Yeah.
I guess
I
it
think
is
this
possible for trolls to do this, but why do trolls do anything? I guess, but I can't think of any reason they actually want to.
But this is hold on, Dave,
at-
because this is from the retailer services website, so this is only for the stores to be able to say, "Hey, I want to order."
So
this
pieces of shit like David can't do their foul machinations.
Oh well.
So
David
this
over here
brings me to this
scheming
because
away.
Taylor did bring
You
up a
will
good
never know
point.
the extent of my schemes.
Taylor did bring up a good point, right? Wow, Diamond is, it takes a while for the technology to creep up. And I'm like, well, no, they've had this for a while. So why is Diamond just now implementing this? Maybe because of the competition?
Maybe because they need to show that they can be valuable to the comic book.
Thank you.
Now.
Maybe, maybe.
It's hard not to notice the timing here. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's how it's supposed to work, right? Like,
this
competitors force you to innovate.
Exactly. And as much shit as I talk on the system, when the system does work right, this is how it works, so so we'll see if that actually helps stores and helps, because that's what those two things are meant to do. They're meant to help the retail stores and help the readers. So those are the ones you've got to convince. Those are the ones you've got to save if you want to save the industry as we know it. So
yeah, I mean, especially because like the biggest competition for your brick and mortar stores are these digital platforms where there's just endless like ability to meet demand, right? You can just download it whenever the fuck you want. So this is a way. Yeah, and this is a way for the brick and mortar stores to not necessarily like match that, but at least close the gap.
Well, close the gap for that customer. I don't think if there's a customer who's gone digital and loves the digital product, there's no way a box store is going to get that person back. There's no way. But for people like us who might be, well, why would I get that? I can just get it digitally. Now that there's different ways for me to do it, I can say, hey, I really would like this book in paper. I don't want to read the digital one.
Yeah.
They can say, hey, Marvel, reprint this book.
But ultimately, the choice to reprint the book will fall on the publisher. Even if there's a demand for it, they could ignore the demand.
But
I mean, they're not going to they're not going to run the presses for one person asking for it somewhere in the middle of nowhere. But it's something instead of nothing.
Yeah, and if there's 1,000 stores wanting that book, it is in their best interest to reprint it. And this all goes back to other things too, because Penguin Random House is now pushing a lot of trades. You know what I mean? For different publishers. So, yeah, dude, Marvel's books are now getting into bookstores. So this is just another way for Diamond to try to keep up with those other, because now they're competing more with other box stores, other physical brick and mortar stores, because of the way the distribution has gone. But
yeah, it seems like
in the weed shit, man. That's
it seems like for like us as consumers, though, I don't see a downside. It seems like a pretty cool thing to have.
Yeah, and especially the pull list thing. Because
absolutely, yeah.
Like if I can beat the final order cutoff, right? If I'm a member of this website and they're like, oh, hey, here's your email reminder. All this shit goes into final order cutoff right now. If you want your shop to order it for you, you should get it. And then I click on the link in my email, or it's just a list of books, a list of titles. And I'm like, oh, I did want that title. Bam. Because right now they don't have anything like that for consumers. You know what I mean? That's a big problem. Diamond doesn't send anything to the actual readers about when a book can be ordered, the final order cutoff date, where shops can order the book from Diamond. And that's been a huge problem for years. It's up to the shops to do that marketing to their local customers. And that's stupid. When Diamond has everything, we use the Diamond website every week on this show. On the Monday night show to do the previews. Why the hell wouldn't they be that middleman to help promote and market to the direct consumer who's buying from the shops that they're supporting?
Yeah. I mean, this absolutely seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
And you're probably right. Like, probably an overdue idea.
Way overdue, man, in my opinion. But all right, anyway, on the animation side, I could not turn this down because it's such good news. Batman and Superman returning to animation with 2 series. From the beloved Fleischer shorts of the 1940s to the groundbreaking shared animated universe that introduced DC superheroes to Legion of fans, Superman and Batman have a long legacy of animation, and now they're coming back. HBO Max and Cartoon Network, a pair of animated series. Let me see. All right. Batman the Caped Crusader from Bruce Timm and J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves. It's a fresh take on The Dark Knight. Yeah, I'm sure it's not. And it's popular Rogues Gallery.
And there's going to be a lot of lens flare.
No, I don't know. Here's the Batman the Caped Crusader.
I mean, you had me at Bruce Timm, you know, at least
you got me.
You had me at Bruce Timm, and then when you brought up J.J. Abrams, I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
Excitement for Bruce Timm easily outweighs trepidation about J.J. Abrams.
In contrast to this, my adventures with Superman will bring youthful energy to the world of the Man of Steel in a new animated series aimed at kids and family.
Yeah.
Here's the animation from the Superman show.
That looks very Avatar-esque.
Oh, yeah, hey, Jimmy Olsen's black. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I assume that's Jimmy Olsen. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know
me too.
Sure.
Me too. So, I mean, there's a lot of information on this, but I mean, really, that's basically all we have.
Water Tribe.
You know, there's a lot of just repeating itself. Oh, it's 20-somethings Clark Kent.
I like that art style. I guess it's probably going to skew a bit young, maybe, for us to be we're definitely not the target demo here, but I'm sure it'll be nice.
Yeah. So the Batman show has got a straight to series order by HBO Max and Cartoon Network. I'm not really sure what this is going to be, but I expect it to be in the same sort of tone as the animated series.
Yeah,
I would hope
that's been their most successful bit. You know, everything else that happened
universally beloved. I mean, why wouldn't they want to do that? You know.
Yeah, and everything else that they've done, Batman Beyond, the Unlimited, even the Superman show, it was all based on the success of Batman the Animated Series.
The Timmverse DC shows, starting with Batman the Animated Series and going out round through Justice League Unlimited, I would argue they have never been topped for DC's animation department. And having Bruce Timm being
some of the movies are amazing, but
as for widespread television releases,
right,
there's just been so much of the Tim stuff. You know, it's hard to compete with all of that.
That is peak DC animation right there.
But as far as like a cartoon series goes, yes, it's been a while since there's been anything where like, man, that was fucking great. You know,
so that's gonna be cool, man. And that's not to take away from any of it. Some of it I loved. There was a Green Lantern that I really liked. Young Justice was awesome. I think it's actually coming back. I think they're trying to do another season.
That was probably an unfair comparison I just made, you know, because like Batman the Animated Series is like arguably the best cartoon ever made, and most of those others are like beloved, acclaimed series. So that's not to say the other stuff was bad. It's just that was a very high bar that I don't. It's
hard to compete. It's hard to compete. I mean, it's so damn good. I don't even care about Batman Beyond, but I love Batman Beyond. You know what I mean?
Great.
Just because it's a spin-off of that Batman.
I mean, honestly, throw Kevin Conroy as Batman in it, and you're in for a good time, you know?
Yeah. Sticking with Batman and DC, now back to comics, though, this fall, the Scarecrow finally does something in the Batman book. He's sending Gotham City straight to hell, and it's up to Batman and his allies to stop it. It's called Fear State. Here's the logo. It's a horror-themed Gotham City event that unifies...
So it's Joker War with Scarecrow.
I don't know if it's quite that.
All right.
It's hard to tell what it's going to be exactly because I don't know. All right, it's going to unify plot threads started in different events, Future State and Infinite Frontier. Fear State not only continues the Scarecrow's vision of a fear-controlled Gotham, but also Mayor Nakano's mission to protect the city with his groundbreaking deal with the Magistrate. Again, we've said it before. This has Skywalker Saga syndrome. We know where it's going. DC sort of, gave us the chicken before the egg here and gave us Future State, and we know what happens. We know where everything is going.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like...
It does take some of the mustard out of it, you know?
Why do we care?
And that picture you brought up, I mean, that's a real who's who of who cares from all these characters that none of us have particularly liked, right?
Yeah,
least
I mean, I
those
like.
of us on the show here.
I love the new Scarecrow design. Don't get me wrong.
That's a good design
Right.
for Scarecrow, but
Yeah, but
Ghostmaker,
everybody else.
Miracle Molly, who's that next to Ivy?
I don't know. That's
Is that
the,
Fitch Mooney?
No, that's
I doubt it.
the new commissioner. She's one of the cops. Like she's not the new commissioner, but like Nakano is like wanting to hire her as the new commissioner or something like that. She's a cop. She's 5-0. She's 5-0. But we get a lot of here's like the designs for Fear State Alpha #1. Here's the cover for Fear State Alpha #1. Great art on this variant for Fear State Alpha #1. I mean, it's a Batman book, so the art is going to be top notch. Here's it, Catwoman 34, Harley Quinn #6 with Catwoman, hanging out over there. Great cover over here. I think that's an In-Hawk Lee cover. This is a book called I Am Batman #0. This feeds right into the future state Batman that we all know is already on its way, which is such an ass backwards way to give us an event. That's it. That's all the covers I have. But I mean, there's a lot. There's I Am Batman as John Ridley's going to write that. Ram V is still writing Catwoman with Fernando Blanco. Harley Quinn #6, Stephanie Phillips with Laura Braga. Fear State Alpha, James Tynion with that's Riccardo Federici though is doing that with him. That's gonna freaking look amazing. But yeah, it's a lot of books. For me, this is DC's reply to what X-Men is doing right now. You know what I mean? X-Men is doing a big crossover with the Gala between all their books. DC is like, hey, we can do that too because Batman is fucking incredible in terms of sales. And they're probably right. It's probably going to be a huge success. This is probably going to get a lot. I mean, this is probably going to get a lot of people who are just reading Batman to at least just maybe dip into these other Bat books that they're not picking up. And if they can pick up 2 or 3 readers out of 100, that's a win for them.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that this is like a good business strategy for them. I'm not going to drop Batman over this. I have been reading it. It's like, it's been a solid read month after month, but I can't pretend to be excited about this,
Yeah. I love the use of negative space here on the A. You see how it's Batman?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think the between the T and the E, is that supposed to be something, or am I just imagining? I think I'm just
that might actually.
It looks like a man in a hat, kind of.
But I don't. I think if it was supposed to be something, it'd be more obvious that it's something.
It'd be more obvious. The Batman is really, just poking you right in the eye. Hey, I'm Batman. All right, so there you go. There's your big event. When's that happening? August, did I say? Yeah, August. All throughout August. And I'm telling you, they're all $5 books, $4 and $5 books. With the cardstock covers that are an extra $1. And the cardstock ones are going to be the best ones. So I don't know. I'm kind of glad I'm off Batman, And I'm sure it's going to have tie-ins into Detective. If it gets popular, there'll be a fucking Nightwing one shot, with Tom Taylor saying, "Okay, I'll do your stupid event."
I hope that Tom Taylor's just allowed to do what he wants, but
Me too,
I don't know. We'll see.
Amazing.
I mean, he does good stuff even when he's like, saddled with something, but yeah.
All right, so there was a lot of news, and then I didn't pick. I only picked some of the stuff I liked. So, Spirit of Vengeance, Spirit Rider, Taboo and B. Earl with Paul Davidson are doing a new Ghost Rider book. This is the Kushala who first appeared in the Damnation Stephen Strange book. She's like no Ghost Rider you've ever seen. A Sorcerer Supreme, a Spirit of Vengeance, and the savior of Johnny Blaze's soul. Blaze has been through a lot lately, from ascending to the throne of hell to nearly murdering his former allies on the Avengers. But his nightmare is far from over. Something or someone is haunting him, and only Ghost Rider with the power of a Sorcerer Supreme can find out why. Taboo of the Black Eyed Peas, yes, and B. Earl expand the Rider mythos with an action-packed special that will kick off a brand new era of vengeance. Kushala is about to be the hottest thing in hell. All right. All of the other news that I've got is kind of just basic, and all of the news that really came out is just basic. Oh, here's a new book that came out. Okay, here's a new book. This is promising something. All right. The Ed Bryson run of Ghost Rider was really kind of good. All right. It involved a lot of different side characters, but it took Johnny Plays and it took Danny Ketch, and it put them together in a way where they both worked as their own individual characters because he evolved what the Ghost Rider was. And I think this is another angle to that, and this is the Ghost Rider is always hot, dude. He's in the fucking Avengers of a billion BC. Robbie Reyes has been on the Avengers now. Ghost Rider is never not cool. And whenever Marvel isn't taking advantage of the character, I'm always scratching my head. Like, why is there not more Ghost Rider shit? And now
Ghost Rider is one of those characters who like everyone knows, but like for various reasons, I guess, it's just like in and out of circulation.
Yeah, like I don't understand it.
Like the Avengers have put out more Ghost Rider material than anything else in recent memory, and even then, it's like not that much, right? It was a story arc.
Yeah.
Although obviously Robbie's on the team and everything, but
yeah, Robbie's dope, man. But all of the freaking Ghost Riders are cool.
They're
all awesome, man.
Characters that stick around do so for a reason. On the surface, it's one of those things where like it almost seems like they're trying too hard for him to be cool because he rides a motorcycle and his head is a flaming skull and but there's a lot of meat to the character. There's a lot of cool stories you can tell about like someone who is like a tortured soul who's trying to do good, even knowing that like there's no happy ending in it for them. And
there's a cool tragedy. There's a cool tragedy there.
And I love how they've started like doing more with like it being like a lineage, right? Like there's been like Ghost Riders through the generation. There's like that cowboy. What's the cowboy one?
I don't remember all their names.
He has
the
like
Ghost Rider in the sky.
Well, yeah, he's kind of.
You damn it, that's not it. But either way.
But there's one on a bear. There's one on like a giant spider that's supposed to be coming. That's the kind of shit I want to see. You like Spider Island, and Spider Verse and all these different spider characters.
Well,
those are cool.
That could be an African.
Ghost Rider work. I think the Ghost Rider on the spider is actually an African.
Yeah, because that lends into a lot of African lore right there.
Well, like a Nazi.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that is just it's such a cool idea to me that why not grow it as just as big as this fucking can, man.
This could be cool. Also, not for nothing, but a Ghost Rider with like Doctor Strange level magic, man, that is a stacked fucking character.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like that Thor run when Doctor Doom comes back and he has like the Eye of Agamotto and the Iron Fist and the Spirit of Vengeance and the Star Brand, and that makes him strong enough to like smack around like King Thor.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, it was fun, but I was like, oh man, really? All right, moving on. A lot of news again, and I got a diverse bunch of news. IDW has announced a new year-long comic book event, starting with a 0 issue, of course. Star Trek TNG, The Mirror War. Captain Picard's dark reflection, thirst for power in Scott and David Tipton's Mirror Universe magnum opus. They did do a Mirror Universe miniseries where there's a really cool Barkley imagine opposite Barkley, dude. He's fucking off the chain amazing. He's so just brutal because, Barkley's just so great. When he's inept, has social anxiety. But, man, this is going to be dope, man. I'm so excited. September's number 0 launch. The series will continue to build a year-long tension with issues 1 through 8 and 4 interspace tie-in specials, each highlighting a different member of the cast. The first spin-off one-shot for December will focus on Data. Evil Data is awesome. He has incorporated like Borg technology.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Into himself. Yeah, he's awesome. Once complete, the 13-part saga will charter Mirror Picard's path of conquest across all of the Mirror universe, stoking the wrath of the Klingon-Cardassian alliance along the way.
Ooh.
Oh, man. I'm so ready for
That's
this.
some Deep Space Nine stuff right
yeah.
there.
It all ties into all of that, dude. It ties into all of that. At the beginning of this, the crew is just in the Stargazer, right? And they hear that the Federation, or at least the former Federation, which is really the Empire, the former Empire, which has been demolished because of the events of DS9, is building a new warship, and it's the Enterprise D. So then they go and steal it. and then they start doing all their awesome shit, man. Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's wild. They also did one for Voyager, which was quite good, as Janeway and the crew just rampage through the Delta Quadrant. It was
Janeway
awesome.
as like a pirate queen works too well, honestly.
Yeah.
There's actually a really good episode of Voyager where the Doctor gets revived by an alien civilization, and they have like this very skewed view, a very mirror universe view of Voyager.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good episode. So yeah, look for that later this year. Man, I'm stoked for this. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Love TNG and the comics. All right. Last bit of news before we get to Heroes Reborn. I could not stop or do a show without mentioning this. It's called Avengers Tech On Avengers. Jim Zub art is by Shambra. We do have some of the art. They don't have their Tech On in this particular preview image sequence. In partnership with Bandai, Marvel Comics will release a brand new Avengers comic series this August called Tech On Avengers. This thrilling collaboration will bring
I hate that name.
I hate it too.
It's Tech On time. Tyrannosaurus.
That's why I had to bring it up, dude.
They had to come up with a better name, didn't they?
I hate this. It'll blend classic Marvel storytelling with the innovative creativity of Bandai spirits, resulting in an Avengers saga like never before. Jeff Chambra Cruz is the illustrator.
And I'll form the head.
It's a tokusatsu inspired action adventure comic series featuring stellar new armor designs for some of Marvel's most iconic heroes and villains.
I just feel like this is like a downgrade from them being in mechs.
It is. The mech book is dope. The mech book is so fun. Thanos showed up. He's gonna have a mech suit of his own. I can't wait. And then eventually they're gonna Voltron. You know they're gonna fucking If they don't Voltron in that Mech Assault book, I'm taking the whole series back to the comic shop and getting my money back. All right, I'm doing it. I'm at least gonna try.
That's just sitting on the shelf for them to do. I mean, why wouldn't they have them Voltron on us?
Wait for the sequel. Wait for the sequel.
But
there you go.
I mean, I don't know if it'll be good or not, honestly. But like, this isn't like the this is so stupid, it's awesome type of feel you got from the Mech Strike.
Yeah, this is just stupid. The story might be good. Jim Zub is a good
writer.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Jim Zub is a great writer.
I would trust Jim Zub, but the premise is not as exciting.
It feels like it's just a knockoff way to try to get some cool toys. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with using comics to sell toys. I'm okay with making comics to do whatever you want.
I mean, some of the most beloved franchises that we talk about on the show are toy commercials, right? Between TMNT and Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I love Transformers.
I mean, Gomer has a huge advertisement for Transformers sitting behind him.
Yeah,
an advertisement.
Gomer is evident.
It's an endorsement.
It's an endorsement for sure. I got other things. See, you got
a Darth Vader and a
I'm
Thor.
gonna move everything around. So next week, all the other shit is at the forefront. Let's do Heroes Reborn.
Not so loud!
It's not loud. It's not that loud.
It's not loud.
Okay. I know.
David, what right do you have to accuse other things of being loud?
Maybe if I say it's loud, it's bad.
What happened to Earth's Mightiest Heroes? We don't know yet. We're still trying to figure it out, but we did learn.
I mean, we do know it's Mephisto.
Stupid. I don't know, man. Maybe.
I mean, we know that Mephisto was, palling around with Coulson when they introduced the Squadron Supreme of America. So it's it's something to do with Mephisto.
I think Mephisto's going to be in there, but it's way obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. They weren't hiding it. I mean, it's on the nose that it's Mephisto, I think.
I know. Even in the cards that they sent, I did get my Heroes Reborn cards. There's a fucking Mephisto card. There's a Mephisto card. So it seems like they're sort of, giving it away. And
it's a red herring.
It's a red herring. Literally, he's red. He's a red color.
I just think that this isn't supposed to be a mystery. That's not the point of the series, is to unravel the tapestry here. Just But hey, whatever. Oh, but anyway, so this time we got Blur.
Yeah, Jason Aaron, Federico Vicentini, Ed McGuinness, of course. Lionel Francis Yu doing the cover. Not a great issue, a fun issue, and this event is all about fun. Yeah, it was fun, and this event is all about fun. Okay, it's fun that Blur is so fast that he himself can barely like keep up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like he loses his train of thought. Like that was a good way to write it. You know that like. Yeah. I better I'll count my TVs real quick, and then like later the same page. Hold on, let me count my TVs, and like at the end of the issue, I'll have to count them when I get back. You know, so yeah. But
it was a fun sort of ADD, almost also OCD sort of complexity to him.
I honestly wonder, like maybe this is again like tinfoil hat moment, where like maybe I'm reading more into this than's actually there. But is this supposed to be like a commentary on like the shortened attention span of modern society? You know, like you're always like going to the next diversion, you're always watching the next show, you're always like streaming the next thing, you're always watching the next video, you know, just nonstop.
There was certainly a piece of that as we see Blur sitting in front of his, TV, watching, like you said, 43 TVs. He had 4 or 5 different phones. He's all over the social media.
Yeah, like 5 dates on 3 different continents.
There's definitely parts of that. Yeah, he had all kinds of shit going on. But most of it was just basically getting into what he did before he was Blur. It kind of introduced us to the character by showing us where he is now in terms of just, being who he is, OCD, ADD. But then most of the rest of the issue was him talking about what he used to do. Like, he's not actually catching or hanging out with Scarlet Witch here. He's telling us about this, right? It was hard to follow in that.
And it was, I lost a lot of stuff right there.
Yeah. And this was a nice homage at the end, keeping with the DC, homage thing. What is this one? Oh, yeah, this was the backup.
That was backup story.
There actually were not a lot of DC homages this time, at least compared to last week. I mean, there was the Grizzly City, which I assume is supposed to be like Gorilla City for the Flash.
Yeah, there was Grodd in there, a nod to Grodd. Who is Ghost Runner? I'm thinking Ghost Runner is...
He says Johnny Blade, the
Speed Demon. Isn't there a character called Speed Demon?
I think there is.
That he goes up against, that Flash went up against?
I know that Speed Demon is the name they gave to the Quicksilver Flash amalgam character that they did back in the 90s.
Oh, I don't know if that's what I'm thinking of. But it's weird that they make him like part supernatural. They make him like mystical.
Yeah, I was not expecting that angle. We're like,
it
was a way it seemed like it was a way for Jason Aaron to bring back some of the like stuff that he introduced in the Doctor Strange run that he had.
Okay.
Or
like Doctor Strange can like see these creatures floating around just like at the edges of our reality, and apparently Blur can do the same. So,
I thought it was more. I thought it was more of an homage to the fact that Flash can time travel unaided. He's like one of the few characters, so Blur could like pass through parallel dimensions unaided.
Oh, well, that does kind of go to the fact that a lot of Marvel's different multiverses are actually alternate futures. So that's possible. That might be a stretch.
Because he says he says something towards the end of it where they take I guess it's Wanda to Ravencroft, and he's saying something about everything's back to normal, but I can see the cracks in reality.
Yeah, I think he's talking about how he doesn't believe the actual reality that's going on in this event.
Yeah, so far that's been a recurring thing where Hyperion was introduced to this idea that maybe this isn't the real reality in the last issue.
Apparently Blur in this issue.
Apparently Nighthawk knows, or at least like suspects it, because that's
that makes sense because he's Batman. Of course he's gonna know.
Yeah. But
this homage at the end, the race against Superman, he's racing it with Dr. Spectrum. Is that the character?
That's Eternity.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like Eternity. That looks like a Cosmic Marvel character, at least.
Well, that's fun. Racing Eternity. That's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot more fun in the backup, especially with that art. Oh my gosh. Ed McGuinness killed it with the Phoenix piano, Echo playing, because Echo's deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which just adds another layer of just amazingly cool writing to what's going on here. Honestly, man, the more I read this event, it feels more and more like Jason Aaron was just going to do a cool arc. you know, like an arc where the Squadron Supreme take over, and then this was going to have them just going back and Cap and them finding, or Cap and Blade, you know, finding the team and getting them back together. But Marvel was like, wow, this is a really cool idea. Why don't you spread this out and give us a lot more background into, you know, all of the characters? And then, you know how Aaron is, it just ran and ran. And
I think they made the right call, because like the last week's tie-ins really enhanced it. And I think that it's definitely the case where it was not on purpose where this one got delayed, because this one was supposed to be Magneto and the Mutant Force. I bet we would have gotten, well, I guess we'll see next week, but I bet we would have gotten more context for what actually happened to Quicksilver. I'd be willing to bet that it's going to recontextualize that, oh no, Blur is the asshole here. You know?
Yeah. And that's what we'll wrap on the Heroes Reborn. Next week, number 4 with Jason Aaron. James Stokey doing the art for the Dr. Spectrum character, which should be interesting. With Ed McGuinness doing the backup. Lionel Francis, you connecting cover there again. And then we'll get the Magneto and the Mutant Force, which was originally supposed to come out this week. That's Steve Orlando with Bernard Chang doing the art. We also get the Siege Society, Cody Ziegler, Paco Medina, and then, of course, Young Squadron with show favorite team Jim Zub and Steve Cummings on the team there.
I'm definitely going to be picking up Magneto and the Mutant Force and Young Squadron, and obviously number 4 for Heroes Reborn. I don't know about Siege Society, though.
So Young Squadron is basically Wayward in Marvel continuity.
Well, no, Champions. Jim Zub and Steve Cummings also did Champions, a run of Champions.
Yeah. It just looks like
of the work on Wayward.
Yeah, it just looks like alternate Champions, which I don't know that this is supposed to be a specific DC homage, but if it is, I don't know what it is. You know,
Team Titans. I would think Team Titans.
Well, I guess, but there's not enough members. Maybe it is anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. Siege Society is what, the Society of? Isn't there an Society of Evil or something?
Well, the Scarlet Speedster's in there, and we have a Black Widow-esque character.
So what would that be over at DC? What would Siege Society?
Suicide Squad?
No, because there already is a book that appears to be Suicide Squad coming out. Isn't there like a Masters of Evil? What is Masters
Legion of Doom?
I don't know. Well, maybe we'll be able to judge better after we read
Exactly. And the Mutant Force, is there any speculation on what that? I mean, I would think that's just random bad guy. I don't know. It's supposed to homage, so we'll see how it homages next week when we get
could that be Doom Patrol?
Oh yeah. That's definitely Doom Patrol. Magneto and the Mutant Force. They have a guy in there who's in a wheelchair, right?
That would be really clever, because Doom Patrol and X-Men were virtually the same thing back when those were first coming out.
Well, Doom Patrol came out before X-Men, right?
Well, yeah.
They came about near enough that they couldn't possibly have been a ripoff of each other.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to make that argument because so much is.
It's an astonishing coincidence. What else? They had spies in the office. They
did have spies in the office. Yeah. How do you think we got Thanos? Is because when Jack Kirby was doing New Gods, he designed Darkseid.
Yeah, but he made Thanos. Thanos was a ripoff of Metron, and later became a ripoff of Darkseid. And B, those are years apart. So
it's true.
Yeah, foolish.
All right,
David.
let's.
Either way.
Yeah. So
no, the Marvel. When Jack Kirby went to work for DC, he had a secret project, and his inker was the one that leaked it to Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, all these conspiracies. They all steal from each other.
Yeah.
We'll have 4 Heroes Reborn books next week.
4 Marvel books. Oh,
let's do the
yummy.
Double dose of food news. Quick one. There's at Disneyland Resort in California, there's a place called Pym Test Kitchen. It's a theme restaurant based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe character and movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Featuring Impossible burgers.
Here is the sandwich section of the menu, and if you'll look, there is a $100 sandwich. $99.99.
Jesus Christ.
It serves 6 to 8. It serves 6 to 8, so it's a little bit different.
Okay. Well,
But
okay, so if we're splitting that up per person, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
but still,
it probably feeds more like 2 to 3.
If I was paying $99.99 for a sandwich, you better give me superpowers, you know.
Well, they give you the 1450 version of it, so
it's just a giant version.
It's just a giant version because if you read it, the ingredients are the same.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I'm just saying. I think that's interesting, but that's not the actual news. The actual food news is there's a new Pringles flavor, Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to think.
The Pringle guy is sweating.
That's a fun design there. Yeah,
it is.
I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty popular sandwich. It seems like
it's my favorite
reasonable chip flavor. I mean, it's not like that monstrosity cake Mountain Dew shit you were showing us.
No,
last week.
I'm excited. I have my people out there, my feelers out there searching for not searching like, oh, I gotta find it. Keeping their eyes open for the cake Mountain Dew.
And I'll find it at a gas station.
I cannot wait to get my lips around.
I don't know if you want to get your lips.
This seems like a better idea. I think this
delicious.
Spicy chicken chip.
I want to get a spicy chicken sandwich and then put the chips on the sandwich. Get a little extra crunch, Philly style.
Why don't you just take these Pringles and use them as a breading and then fry you up a chicken sandwich?
Don't tell me my business. Don't tell me my business. Top 3 this week. Oh, Taylor was saying something about food. What, Taylor?
Oh, but if he made the sandwich himself, he'd do a terrible job. So, do that.
I was going to talk shit on Wendy's. Wendy's is awesome. I love Wendy's.
I love their Twitter.
I don't know. So we'll start with Taylor. I don't think we started with Taylor.
Okay. I'm just going to do a few rapid fire honorable mentions. Not really talk about any of them because I actually have a few that I mostly liked. I enjoyed the Mighty Valkyries. The art continues to be pretty outstanding. I enjoyed the Flash 770. Jay Garrick kills Hitler in this issue.
Oh,
they kind of hand wave that away. They say like, "Oh, we don't see a body. He's probably not really dead." But like, you do get a nice shot of Jay Garrick punches Hitler, and then it causes energies to overload, and he explodes. So that was fun.
Awesome.
Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade was pretty cool. There was a nice little flashback fight between him and Thor. They tried to pad it, they hedged their bets a little bit by saying that oh, well, Thor was arrogant and toying with the Ebony Knight, but then the Ebony Knight does beat him, so that's a pretty good feat for the Ebony Blade.
I didn't realize there were so many ebony items. It makes me feel like a World of Warcraft character.
As far as I know, they introduced those in this series. I had never heard of them.
I looked it up. Chalice was actually in a separate book. The dagger was in a different book than the sword. The shield was in a different book than everything else.
Well,
but it's
that's my ignorance then. Yeah.
You get a complete set and your stats are off the chains.
Right, you get all of them on the set. Your World of Warcraft, you get a buff to your ROI. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know. Anyway.
Yes, honorable mention for 3 Heroes Reborn. It wasn't as good as the previous weeks, but still a fun read.
Yeah.
My actual number 3 is going to be the Immortal Hulk Time of Monsters.
Oh, nice.
Now, putting Ewing's name on the cover was a bit misleading because when they get to the credits page, the actual script was by this guy Packnadal. So I guess Ewing did the storyboard for it or something, but it was still a really, really fun read. It tells the story of someone who goes through the Green Door in ancient times, and true to Immortal Hulk fashion, there's some really outlandish body horror going on. They hunt and kill this guy who turned to the Hulk, but then when he wakes up again and regenerates, it pulls his meat matter through their stomachs and kills his whole village because they ate him.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's like Iron Giant kind of thing.
But this is if the Iron Giant, if people had tried to eat parts of the Iron Giant, I guess that's what would have happened to them. But
nice.
But yeah, it's a tragic little story because like this guy was like, trying to leave the village with his friend, but his friend is the one who ended up killing him when he turned into the Hulk because he didn't know any better. And then the guy, like, he makes this decision like, nah, I'm just gonna kill them all now. So it's a heartbreaking little story.
Nice.
Definitely the best part of it though is this outstanding cover.
That cover is amazing. The green door cover is just gorgeous. And especially in a series full of Alex Ross covers. That one really stands out.
It does. Like the lighting effects for it are like superb.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's my number 3.
Good choice, Dave. We'll go around the clock.
Alrighty.
Tonight.
Honorable mentions. Heroes Reborn number 3. I liked it. I didn't like it to make it in my top 3. It's a lot going on. Hard to follow. Like I said, I thought he was running through parallel dimensions or other realms. He shows up in different places all over the place. It's just really hard to follow.
Cool.
But of course, it's a book about a speedster, so hey.
I think that was part of it. Yeah. I mean, maybe if I go in with those sort of eyes, where those lenses that, Aaron is trying to tell this story in a haphazard way.
I mean, this character seems like he's Wally West more so than Barry Allen. And Wally West did get into a lot of like really surreal foot races in his time,
Yeah. Cool.
And my other honorable mention is I Walk with Monsters number 6.
Oh man, I went back to reread those because issue 6 was out, but my kid would not leave me alone today, and I only got up to issue 3.
But pretty much our heroes confront the big bad of the series and are able to kill him. Well, they don't kill him. They turn him back into a baby. Apparently, what they do to him gives him what he desires the most, and he wants to be young again.
Oh, he makes him a baby. Not that young, a-hole.
And pretty much our dog-man monster guy.
A shitty genie, right?
Evil genie wishes for the win. Yeah, you gotta watch that.
Man.
But
that's terrible.
But our heroes, pretty much, the girl decides that she was going to kill the baby. And our dog man monster pretty much talked her out of it and said that maybe this time with the right people, the right upbringing, he can be a better person.
Oh, nice.
So they drop him off at a child services place and walk off into the sunset, essentially.
Nice. That's the end of the series, right?
That's the end of the series.
Nice. It should come back, man. It's a solid premise. The premise is really cool.
Well, this is the
premise is about a girl who has in her youth a run-in with abuse and kidnapping. And she finds somebody who's like this mystical guy who can like smell kidnappers, and he can turns into a monster and like murders them. And she ends up being the bait, and they have this whole thing going on.
Yeah, they have a dynamic going.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But they end up being saying, we're probably the closest thing to having a family right now.
Nice. Good choice.
My number 3 pick this week is going to be Scumbag number 8. Oh my gosh. Mary goes on a rampage in the Mooney base, and it is delightful. She is singing Karen Carpenter songs.
That's not even the best part.
That is not. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
it's so weird.
The artwork is like insane in this book. Yeah. I know there's always a different artist on each issue, but it starts off strong and it just goes gonzo from there.
And it's like they have this gun that can make
it will brainwash every human being on Earth, but it's powered by love.
It's powered by love, but Ernie accidentally falls into sort of the ammo pool. Like whoever's in the ammo pool, whatever they exude the most is what powers the weapon. And so Ernie, instead of the love guru,
he contaminates it.
Shooting her, yeah,
and Earth becomes Planet Ernie.
Yeah, he's like, "Welcome to Planet Ernie, motherfuckers!" And it's like end of issue. It's like, oh no.
but I love the fact that when Petal gets killed by Mary, it's revealed that she's a robot, and he's like, "I've been making love to a robot."
Yeah, but she had already been hit. But she had already been hit by the love thing. She was like, "Come on, man, love is love." It was just the weird duality because they sort of changed roles,
I just love the fact that when Ernie finally like gets mad and powers up, he has like laser beams shooting out of his middle fingers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
it's a fun series, man.
It's a fun book. It is a great series. I really, truly love this series.
All right, cool. My honorable mentions are weird. FF Life Story was terrible. It was not good at all.
Oh, well, I am glad I did not pick it up then.
It was gone before I got to the store. So.
It bastardizes the legacy of the Fantastic Four, in my opinion. I hated it. Heroes Reborn was meh. Wolverine was kind of offensive in a weird way. Anybody else read Wolverine?
Sorry.
Did you read it?
No.
Yep.
Don't you think that's kind of weird what they did? Isn't that blasphemous?
His, cloned body?
They used Wolverine's clone body to sort of trick the vampires because the vampires want Wolverine's blood, but they polluted it in the resurrection process to get over on him or over on Dracula and the vampires. I mean, what else do the X-Men hold more holy, even if that's not even the right word, than the resurrection protocols? That's just really borderline.
Well,
to me,
I mean,
man.
I don't know if this is what they were going for, but that is kind of. Did you like what some of the stuff they're doing in Way of X right now, where like life and death has become like a cheap thing for them? So like, if they don't care about dying, they probably don't care about throwing a like backup body at people.
That's just seemed whack to me. But speaking of Way of X, not even the big cliffhanger at the end of Way of X could save it from being just a predictable story. It was very predictable. And now we're not even
like the way they were writing Legion, I will say, at least.
Oh, yeah. He
was fun.
Yeah.
Was great. This is my number 2 pick.
Oh, okay. All right. It's in my honorable mentions. It was good, but man.
You'll be able to talk about that in a minute.
I'll move on.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So we have elaborated on those. My actual honorable mention, Daredevil number 30. This book really kicked it up a notch, coming off of the King in Black sort of tie-ins. Fun stuff. Matt's making deals with the FBI to do heroing in prison, which is insane. Elektra is dealing with her new role as Daredevil and the owner of 90% of Hell's Kitchen. Kingpin is working through this weird relationship he has with Mary. The villains are just amazing. The gang in Hell's Kitchen is playing Elektra just perfectly. The Hand appears to be back. Bullseye is back for sure. Just a great issue.
Oh, yeah.
But not good enough to make my top 3 because it's all about the really big moments, and no bigger moment than in Radiant Black number 4 this week. Everything changed. Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa. There were a lot of good Image books. Home number 2 was great. Stillwater 7, Scumbag number 8, like we said. Even Sunstone volume 7, which I'm only like halfway through, is just awesome. Nathan dies in this. The main character, he dies. And his scumbag friend Marshall takes over. And it's got as the Radiant Black. And it's got a great fight between Radiant Black and Radiant Red. But it goes into this sort of thing where the Radiant power itself is sentient and is communicating with the person who's wielding it, who's sort of, coupled with the item. And this guy's saying, dude, war is on the way. Are you willing to kill? And Nathan's like, no, I'm not willing to kill. And he ends up dying in the fight against Radiant Red. And Marshall is there, of course. And Marshall gets the same question later on. He's like, yeah, I'll murder anybody, And it was just really cool, man. Maybe that's why Radiant Black lost. Maybe that's why Nathan lost. Because he wasn't willing to kill. I don't know. It's a lot of cool stretches, a lot of fun action. This book has finally hit its stride after just a couple of issues of being more Spider-Man, than anything else. But really solid issue. Had a great time with it. David, you're not reading Radiant Black anymore?
I didn't get to this issue yet.
Oh, it's really cool, man. Probably best issue of the run so far.
Yeah, I had a lot to read this week, but
yeah, it was a big week, man.
It was a big week independence wise. Yeah. All right. I haven't even cracked open Sunstone yet.
Oh, dude, it's perfect. It's just exactly what you expect from that. It's sexy and it's fun and it's relationship and it's slice of life. It's perfect. Perfect. Taylor, number 2.
My number 2 is Nightwing. What number was it?
3 or 80.
Number 80.
80. Yeah. I want to say 3, because it's Tom Taylor's third book.
I mean, that is the instinct. Like, I don't know what came before this, and I don't care. I just picked it up with this new run, and it's been really good. But my main reason for putting this at my number 2, in addition to continued stellar artwork, I continue to really enjoy the Bat family dynamics here. I loved the way Dick interacted with Tim. I continue to love the way, like you say yourself, like Barbara is great in this book.
She's awesome.
Like, I love her like coming in and just like shitting all over these cops who are trying to hassle Dick for like murdering people when he didn't actually do it.
Well, the evidence does not help him.
It doesn't, but they had really flimsy shit to go on for them to go in like guns blazing, like confess, you scumbag. You know,
well, they don't have anything else. That's the problem. That's all
they have. Nothing. Yeah. So, but I also really like especially the fight scene where Tim and Dick do a like 2-on-2 fight with Electrocutioner and I don't know, some other person. But I love their
Brutale.
Yeah. Okay. But like I love their combo work, or like like Dick knows to catch Tim and like hurl him at the other guy, unless they like switch partners. Like we said already, and I'll say it again here, the Bat family dynamics are great here. Yeah. These are the characters that are tried and true. And honestly, I can't remember the last time I read Tim Drake in a fucking comic book. It feels like it's been an eternity.
Yeah, but, and he was doing his thing. He was doing the undercover thing. He was doing Bat stuff, man. It felt really cool.
I like how Dick even says, like, a lot of people think he's the best Robin. And yeah, I see it. You know, I like the relationship they have. And I also like the thing where, like, hey, we got you a wallet chain so that your wallet won't be stolen by a child again.
Bruce.
Oh, and also you confront a softcore metal band from the 90s. So, hey, that's fun.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm never going to live this down. Yeah, very cool. Still very fun stuff with the dog every issue. You know, they keep... Tom Taylor's hitting all the right notes with the story. I don't like that they just went into adding another new villain for the Bat family right away. That's why it didn't make my top 3. It really irked me when I'm like, man, there are so many fucking Batman villains. You can't just use one of the 1,000 that your team already has. Why?
I'm okay with it because this is a Nightwing book.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but it.
But you are right. Like, we have introduced quite enough new characters in the Batman book at this point.
It's so weird. It's so weird. But yeah, it's really the art that pushes this book above and beyond. And
yeah, it's stellar artwork.
Yeah, the choreography in the fight, just the great looks that Oracle was giving the cops, that was really where it was. There's a shot of the flat of his apartment.
Yeah, even above. I was about to mention, even him walking around his apartment is like a dynamic, well put together, well choreographed art sequence. It's great.
Yeah, it's really well done. And I mean, it's not Tom Taylor's best work, not by a long shot. But the combination of Bruno Redondo and him finally hitting their stride after their Suicide Squad run, I think, they really learned how to work together really well. And it takes a really strong writer to be able to feed an artist exactly what that artist needs to be fed in order for that artist to shine as much as Bruno Redondo is shining in this book. So yeah, top marks for everybody. Yeah.
And worth mentioning that bad Tom Taylor is still pretty good by most standards.
Yeah, without a doubt. Excellent choice. Big Dave, number 2.
Number 2 is Way of X, number 2. I don't read many X-Men books, and I did really like the first book.
That makes it weird. Like, this is the one.
Yeah,
this is the X book.
But
especially
when Legion goes into Nightcrawler's head, it's basically Pirates of the Caribbean in there.
That was fun. I
did like
the
Legion. That was a lot of fun. But
Legion was easily my favorite part of this.
Legion was the best part of this book. He like goes in there and goes, "Oh, I put some coordinates in your brain so you can come and find me. Come and find me. Bring some help too. Don't bring muscle, bring brains." So he brings that. He brings Dr. Nemesis, I believe it is.
Yeah, Dr. Nemesis.
And Pixie, and then he runs into the lost character from the first issue
and ditches her again,
and then everybody in the bar pukes. So there's like was it Fabian Cortez?
Yeah.
And Dr. Nemesis were having a discussion about how much one likes Dazzler and the other one doesn't.
I loved how Dr. Nemesis was talking to him and didn't realize who he was.
You
know what I mean? Oh yeah, baby. Aren't you the asshole who fucked over Magneto?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so I do think it is kind of neat that like we can see like Way of X is picking up the sloppy seconds from Sword. That was something that would happen in that book, and now we can spill it over to this one. I said sloppy seconds, but I do think that is a cool thing. I also like how like Professor X is like, I don't know if it's good for me to bring back my son, and then Legion's just like, well, fuck you, I don't need you to.
He did it himself.
Yeah,
he did the whole. He did the most important part of the Resurrection Protocols, the thing that literally Jean Grey was worried about doing on Professor X because she didn't know if she had the skill. A thing that both of these most powerful psychics, 2 Omega level mutants, need a device, a mechanical device to do. Legion did it while he was incorporeal.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know what
Legion is like absurdly powerful. They really do a good job selling that here.
He basically like bypassed all the protocols and everything and did it himself. And it's like, and then he turns around. And he's like, Magneto's like, well, I've got a project with several Omega level mutants on. He's like, fuck you, Magneto. And then he turns around like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah.
I don't trust either of you.
Yeah, it was very fun.
I like his dynamic with Nightcrawler and everything.
Yeah, that's Captain Earthworm or whatever he was.
Well, it'll be interesting to see too, because he hinted in this that Legion is going to become more Legion as he goes on. Like his brain eventually is going to break down.
Yeah, he did mention that.
Now that Franklin Richards is depowered, is Legion the strongest mutant? He might very well be.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, if he could control it a little better, but
yeah,
I don't think Franklin is. I don't think Franklin's depowered. There's another
not permanently. I mean, that's obviously going to change at some point. But
no, I think there's a hook like in this storyline for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do like that. That big reveal at the end, the Patchwork Man may be Onslaught.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's kind of a weird flex. Any other writer, if it was any other writer, even Hickman, I would have problems with this. But since it's Cy Spurrier and the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to this weird, dumb, cerebral sort of shit, because that's kind of, I think a lot of people miss what Onslaught was supposed to represent, I think Onslaught is a really cool idea in the context of Way of X, and to look at it through this new prism of Krakoa. And
I'm not reading the Children of X, these
Children of the Atom.
Children of the Atom. But are they a mixture of different mutants?
No, we're not really quite
sure. 3 issues in, and they still haven't explained it.
Yeah, we're not really sure who they are. Because it seems like they're just cosplayers, really like LARPing cosplayers.
Well, then that kind of does to it, but
we're not sure.
That kind of does put the brakes on a theory of mine that Onslaught is looking to make a body that doesn't have to have both Magneto and Xavier in it, and
Legion would be the perfect body for Onslaught to use.
But
we'll see that. I'm sure he's
actually circles back to something I want to mention.
If Legion can bypass the protocols, then couldn't potentially Onslaught bypass
exactly them? If Legion can bypass the Resurrection Protocols and not require a psychic, either Jean Grey or Professor X, then it does change some things for the Resurrection Protocols. But Taylor, you were going to say,
of all the books for like this to be the only X book you're reading, I feel like there's nothing to get out of this if you're not reading the other X books.
I mean, Legion's a fun character, but
Legion is a fun character, but like everything about this is very much contingent on what's going on in the other X books, and it just seems like an odd one to be the one that you're reading.
It'll be a fun time for you when you finally do go back and read the X books, Dave. Because you'll be like, oh, okay.
I know. I'm sorry. I just.
Don't apologize.
I was on that anti-Marvel. I was on that anti-Marvel kick for a while.
Don't
that
apologize happened when enjoying comics.
How dare you?
All right, me number 2. Stray Dogs number 4. Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner. Fuck this book. Fuck these creators. I mean, it's brilliant. It's amazing.
Did they kill another dog?
They did a lot more than that. I'm not even going to spoil it because anything I say is going to spoil just the jaw-dropping comic book issue that is Stray Dogs number 4. This whole series is just amazingly good. Probably the best thriller I've read in years. But seriously, fuck these creators. Here's the art. Here's just a look at the art. Here's some more dogs. This is basically what it is, but it's basically Don Bluth meets a thriller. Here's the this is a tweet from Tony Fleeks. Somebody said Tony Fleeks and Tris Ford and Stray Dogs is great, but also fuck y'all. And he's like, that's going to be on the trade paperback cover blurb. Yeah. And it's true. I couldn't agree more. Damn, this book. It's so good, though. It's so good, man. You know, it's like it's like watching Seven. You can't tell anybody what happens at 7, but you don't really want them to watch it either because it's like, oh my gosh, dude, that moment, you know? And that's kind of what this is, man. There's a couple of moments in this issue where you're just like, I cannot believe they did it. I can't believe they went there. And it's perfect. It's wonderful. Get this book. Taylor, number 2.
Number 1.
Are you up to number 1? Are you up to number 1?
Yep.
Oh, well, we have the same number 1 then.
I'm sure we do, so I'll just wait.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, we'll save it for the big finale. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave. Number 1 or number 2 or number 1, whatever.
My number 1. My number 1 book this
lost track.
My number 1 book this week is Ultra Mega 3.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh my gosh, the breakdown of society in this thing. They talk about the kaijus, and the kaijus are supposed to be these large monsters. Ultra Mega is supposed to be this large individual that fights these monsters. They're all people size now. There's no true kaiju, but kaiju society pretty much has a gladiatorial arena, and since Noah pretty much interfered with kaiju society, they stuck him in this arena fighting people-sized kaijus. He's dressed up as an Ultra Mega. They have a cityscape, and he's fighting these kaiju creatures. And there's one in there called Bloob, and it looks unassuming. It looks like dumb. It's like a white blob, but basically it distends its stomach and grabs people and digests them. Oh. And the kid, there's another one called like Rip Slash or something like that. It looks like a Godzilla looking thing. Yeah. But oh my gosh, the kid is killing these kaiju. This kid is like the next chosen Ultra Omega. And it's cool. He decides the bad guy, the war like the Carapace from like the previous issue has fallen ill, and the kaiju society has thrown him in the arena too, and the kid makes a choice to save this guy.
I should catch up on Ultra Mega.
This was like one of the like craziest issues. I mean, we had like a very story background driven issue previously, and this issue basically it throws this kid to the lion, and the kid is killing the lions. Oh. And it's pissing off. It's pissing off the kaiju people.
Yeah. Well, that's been a favorite around here. Everybody seems to like it. Who's reading it? I'm not reading it. I should catch up on it. But number 1, let's wrap this thing with Wonder Girl number 1.
This is some of the best art I've ever seen. Certainly in a long time.
Joel Jones, Jordi Belair, amazing art. Pretty interesting setup to a story.
Yeah.
With all of the it's like a lot of Wonder Woman lore. There's Themyscira, Mount Olympus, Bena Mishdal, which I had to Google.
Yeah, I have to confess, I do not know what that was.
It's like in Egypt, there is a city of Amazons. That's it. That's basically it.
Okay. But yeah, they did a great job enticing us here. That is a great 2-page spread, by the way.
Oh my gosh. So beautiful. Look at her Batman. Joel Jones Batman is awesome. Jesus, do some Batman.
Do some Superman. Do some Wonder Woman. They're all of these
great.
characters. They are all fantastic.
Yeah. Who are some of these characters? Who's this crocodile with the lipstick and this girl and the redheaded girl under the leaf?
I don't know who that is. The redheaded girl under the leaf is a character who actually showed up in Wonder Woman Future State. This is a prequel to that. The Future State book was sort of the end of Yara Flor's story in a weird way. This is the beginning of Yara Flor's story. This issue, she actually travels to Rio de Janeiro and has no idea why. And in Themyscira and in Mount Olympus, and in Bain al-Mishdal, which is the Egyptian Amazon city, they're all freaking out because she's going to Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
So she's going there to meet her Wonder Woman destiny, her Themysciran or whatever destiny. And like Taylor said, it is some of the most amazing art I have ever seen. And I have a crush. I'm looking at Yara Fleur like this dude looking at her. I mean,
it's hard not to. It genuinely
I'm head
is,
over heels.
But
it's that smile. Look at that smile. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, she's beautiful.
This artwork really is fantastic, and I also really love the writing here. Like, I love that. I love the teasing. I love you were showing like the different areas here. I love that the freaking fonts like match the setting so well.
Yes. Yeah, and that's her doing that design work. I don't think there's anybody else involved. Just beautiful. This is what you get on every page. Just amazing depictions of this beautiful woman traveling through.
Yeah. Every page is a
beginning of an epic story.
Even her like talking to the bus driver there. Every page, not a lot actually happens in this issue. We get the flashback sequence, which was really beautiful. You should show some of that. But other than that, it's all set up, and they're teasing us with a lot of stuff, and I love it. I love the way they're telling this story so far. Like, I might be frustrated if the art wasn't so good, but because it is, and because the teasing is good teasing, I'm definitely on board for whatever comes next,
As long as they keep pushing this art. Jordi Belair doing the cover or colors, another award-worthy look. Retcon Doomsday Clock. I don't know if Doomsday Clock was ever canon, man. Thanks for hanging out, Mega Man. But yeah, I don't think Doomsday Clock was ever actually really canon. Maybe.
Is he demanding that they retcon Doomsday Clock, or pointing out that they are retconning?
It's got a hashtag, so I guess he wants it to trend on Twitter.
It's one or the other. Man, yeah, dude. I read this book 3 or 4 times just to look at every line, every painted.
And like small
beautiful.
detail there, like Zeus, like just sort of half listening to his wife. Good touch, like he's a champ.
Yeah, it's everything is really fun here, man. It's bringing in all this, this great mythology from everywhere, which is what Wonder Woman books should do. This panel actually doesn't make hardly any sense at all. She doesn't see any of these people. These are all characters who belong in the DC universe. I think what she's saying here, Joelle Jones, with this page is saying this is happening concurrently with everything else that is going on in the DC universe right now. Here's your Catwoman. Here's your Nightwing with his dog. Here's, what I mean? It's sort of setting the time frame of it, because this is a new character, because this isn't a new place. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is not something that there's not a place where the DC universe typically unfolds.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because like they went to that those waterfalls towards the end of the issue. Yes. I was genuinely intrigued, so I looked them up, and they are actually very beautiful. Like, I think that she drew like the exact location where like the boardwalk is and everything. It's a great
and that's
eye for
on the
detail.
Amazon River, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of stuff she's bringing in. She's bringing in actual Amazon stuff, and not that Joelle Jones, has any business being able to do that. I don't know if she's, from it there. I don't care though, because she's being respectful with it. This is a modern day, woman hanging out, doing her thing, trying to find herself in this calling that she got from Brazil. And I'm sorry, she's beautiful. That smile, oh man, that smile. Yeah, so I'm on board for this forever.
Yeah.
Yara Fleur is my new friend. I love
Joelle Jones is both a writer and an artist, and I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled for moving forward. This is stunning work that she's putting out here.
Yeah, and she did have a lot of work on the Catwoman book. It didn't get a lot of buzz. You know what I mean? She's had work with
I might have to go back and look that up, because I was a fool for not checking it out, I think.
Yeah, it's just amazing art. And yeah, I could look at it all day. I'm going to go up and read it again, honestly, because it's just that damn good. So awesome. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We really appreciate it. We're wrapping the show. Check out outrightgeekery.com. We have a sweet list of links up there to everything that we've got going on, all of our social media channels. all of the videos that we're doing, all of our affiliates, stuff where you can buy swag. If you want to do that, that'd be dope. But yeah, check that out. Come back for our preview show tomorrow. We're going to talk about all of the books dropping next week, and there are a ton of them. So many good books. The Hellfire Gala is ramping up. Heroes Reborn is on fire. We're going to do top 5 on Tuesday. Join us for that, our list show. We're going to hang out most likely with the Comic Book Bullies. I didn't get a concrete confirmation with them, but I think they're going to be here. For our top 5 comic book events, we're all going to make our list, defend our choices, and then talk shit on everybody else's. Come back for the Comic Book Bullies. They will probably be streaming tonight about midnight Central Time or thereabouts. Favorite show of mine. I love them. Somebody wrapping Christmas presents? Again?
Not me this time.
That's Taylor this time. Busted.
I was putting my comics up.
He's his own worst enemy. But yeah, Big Willie's doing shows here all throughout the week, including interviews, reviews, and stuff like that. So yeah, awesome. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. But most of all, thanks for these jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Always fun.
We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Yeah, man. Yard floor.